Get ready for it. Yeah, this is it. Go! Go!
Afternoon, V2. How's it going?
Hi, Hill. How are you?
Not too bad. Coming in for the final stretch of the year, I feel.
Yeah, we're a little bit late on this episode, but yeah, it's that time of year. It's pretty busy, so yeah, we're looking forward to getting this one posted to you.
Yeah, great. And I know you've got a trip to Europe coming up, so you must really feel like you're in the final stretch.
Yeah, just this week and then next week, and a few Christmas parties and thrown in for good measure. So it's going to be a bit hectic getting ready and getting through work and making final arrangements to travel. But I think it's much the same for most people. Busy time.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, Kev, I think you wanted to just share something on your last race, which is a few weeks ago now. But yeah, the Great Southern Stage Race.
Yeah, so we posted that video of that race and some of the highlights and spoke a bit about it. But one of the things I didn't talk much about at the time was the fact that we had, unfortunately, just before the race, lost one of our teammates to injury. We call our team the Green Milers, and so in a last-ditch attempt to find someone else, one of the teammates, the chap who was injured, put something out on Facebook and basically called on anyone who was interested in an entry, somewhat discounted, to join the Green Miler group, 3 men in their 50s, to make contact. And lo and behold, we got someone contact us, and you can imagine sort of checking it out to make sure it's all legit and the like, and making sure that, you know, this is a real offer and that we can be trusted. But the long and short of it was that this lady, Tanya, joined us for the 3-day expedition and came across from Sydney and became an integral member of the team. And from not knowing her at all, none of us did, to having to share, you know, car journeys, accommodation, and the whole, you know, team effort over the 3 days was fascinating in itself. And you know what it's taught me, I think, and probably the others in the Green Milers, was just that trust is still alive and well, and for her to trust that this is something that would be okay, and trust her instinct around it being an adventure, and that she'd be joining like-minded runners, was absolutely what transpired. And also her sense of adventure, I think we all just admired. And apart from that, we learned a hell of a lot from her. She's relatively young in her running career, but quite experienced nonetheless. And in terms of her preparation and how she went about things, nursing injuries and recuperating each day, you know, learned so much. And we're very fortunate as well in that she decided to do a race report. And so what I wanted to share is we're going to share that race report on our Running High website, and it's an excellent read. And for those, you know, who want to know sort of how to prepare for a race and what you might get out of an adventure race like that, it's an excellent read. So that's just a call out to Tanya and her blog that's now on our Running High website.
Yeah, thanks, Kev. That's a great story, I must say. I remember you telling me at the time, and as you say, it captures all of those things, you know, that are not just purely about running, around meeting new people, adventure, etc. And I've read Tanya's blog. I must say it was pretty brave of her to join 3 50-year-olds, but her race report was a really good read. I really enjoyed reading it.
Yeah, and you know, apart from that, we all, you know, have a new friend and someone that we follow, and we're going to be following her adventures. And you know, if we ever get over to Sydney, we'll no doubt try and tackle a race over there or something and meet up. So yeah, it was a fantastic experience, and hats off to her for taking the plunge and her sense of adventure. So yeah, give it a read. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so that'll be on our runninghigh.com.au website, and we'll put a link in this video as well. Kev, the other thing that we've been talking about a little bit, you and I are obviously Comrades Tragics, so we love all the history and tradition that comes with that race. And we were just saying before that out of all of the races that are around globally, we've never seen so much history and tradition attached to a race. It's just incredible. I mean, part of it is to do with the fact that, it's a very old race. It started in 1921. But, I think there are a whole range of other reasons why it is so special. So, what we thought we might do is just start to share a few little tidbits with people on why Comrades is regarded as such a special race.
Yeah, and I think it's part of the appeal for us as well, I suppose, the fact that we do share some of that history coming from South Africa, but also having experienced, watching that every year as kids, and sort of understanding some of that history as it unfolded. But there's so much more to it, and I know we're both pretty excited about the read ahead of us around the book that we've just secured, and thanks for putting me onto it. So I'm looking forward to reading that in my travels, and I know you've already started it. So yeah, I mean, go ahead, and why don't you share a few of those anecdotes? Would be really fascinating.
Yeah, no, I'd just say, I mean, there are some really good books out there for those people who do want to go into the detail. I mean, one that I read probably a couple of years back was the one that Bruce Fordyce, who's sort of Comrades legend, he won it 9 times, put out, called The Winged Messenger. And it was really a diary of his first attempt at the Comrades, which, encapsulated a lot of his own personal journey, but also some history of the race, which I really enjoyed. But this one, which is called Comrades Marathon, The Ultimate Human Race. I think John Cameron Dow is the guy who's written it. He really captures the different eras within Comrades. And so today I thought I'd just start at the beginning and, talk about a little bit about how it all started, and, feel free to jump in if I miss anything, Kev. But, it was founded by a guy by the name of Vic Clapham. And he was a guy who had just returned from World War One, and he wanted to do something special for his fellow soldiers, I guess, that had either perished in the war or who had come back. And there's one particular story around a mate of his who I think he was riddled with some sort of illnesses. This is Vic Clapham, and a mate of his actually carried him. I think it was around 50 k's to get him, to safety, and so I think, and then that almost embodies the some of the spirit of Comrades, right? And it's probably where the name came from as well. Is that it's all about helping your fellow man and sharing in the journey, and that's certainly a big part of the race. But anyway, I mean, Vic Clapham came back and had this what was considered crazy idea of putting this race together to honor these guys who'd come back or not come back, as the case was from World War One. And initially, I think he was sort of laughed off. No one took him seriously, and he just kept pegging away at his idea, kept pushing it out there, and eventually in 1921 he got approval to put the race on, and I think he sort of borrowed £1 at the time, and that was his budget to put it all together. And that's where it started. I think there were very few people that ran. I can't remember the number, but ran in that. But, I think he went on to organize that race for 18 years after that. But yeah, amazing. And, he had that dream, and I don't think he could ever have thought what it would turn into. But yeah, that's where it all started. And we're coming up, last year was actually as we know, the centenary of the race, being 100 years anniversary. However, we've missed a few years of running actually during World Wars and then with COVID. So I think the race that we're going to be running to next year is possibly around the the 96th or 97th.
96, yeah, that's right.
So there are a few more to go. But yeah, just an amazing story of how it all started.
Yeah, I think if and I didn't read this in the book, so I could be, I might need to check my facts, but I got a feeling the first race was 34 people. And I seem to recall they were therefore aiming in one of the past editions for 34,000 runners. I might have my facts slightly wrong because I know this year the cap is 20,000, but in any event, it was those sorts of numbers, 30 odd runners for the first one. And I'd imagine it was a bit of a trail event because the roads were dirt roads in those days. So yeah, it's quite interesting in that sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the first winner was there's a medal named after him now. It's the medal you've signed up for, Kev. What medal is that?
I don't know. I don't know the name of it because it's the one you've signed up for. No, it's the Bill Rowan medal. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say we've signed up for it. I think we've signed up to try to finish would be a good start.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the Bill Rowan medal was named after the first winner, so he must have won that 1921 race, and he won it in a time of 8 hours and 59 minutes. So you need to do sub 9 hours to attain that medal, which is, I think, a pretty tough ask of anyone.
Yeah, I think the more we've looked into it, the more we've realized how tough it is. But that's okay. I mean, I think we're going to still try and train according to that program and see how we go. And obviously, as we've said, we've still a little way off our main tranche of training. So we'll try and enjoy our Christmas first.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just I know most people are probably not going to go and read lots of books about Comrades, but for anyone who is a bit interested in a bit of the history, there's actually a great documentary that was put together. It's on YouTube, and we'll post a link. It was put together by the Comrades organization, and it's called A Soldier's Dream, and it basically covers off all of the eras of the Comrades to some of the legends of the winners like Wally Hayward, who ran it again at the age of 78 and 80 after having won it 3 times, Bruce Fordyce, etc. So it's actually a great documentary and pretty easy and quick to digest. So we'll post a link to that.
Yeah, so hopefully we won't bore you too much with the history, but I think it is quite interesting to some people, and if you want to dig in a little bit deeper, feel free. But we'll share a few anecdotes as we go. How's your training going otherwise, Hill?
Yeah, it's going. I feel like I'm in a bit of a lull at the moment. We come off the back of our respective races. Mine was the Queenstown Marathon. I did want to allow myself a little bit of time to recover, although I felt I pulled up pretty well from that. So the first week back was slowish. Last week which was the second week back, I had a pretty good week. I did some real quality sessions. I did a speed session down at the track, which was 400-meter intervals. And then on Saturday, I did a hill session down in Inverloch, some hill repeats, which I really need to get focused on hills. Those 2 runs definitely took it out of me because I felt it on Sunday in my long run. So, yeah, just giving myself a break yesterday. But, I'm back into it. But, yeah, I think now will be a little bit of a challenge because we just sort of, not quite into our big training block and not focused on any races until February. So my challenge is just going to be to keep some momentum going through the Christmas season, albeit I actually do have a race in mid-January which will help motivate me, I think.
Yeah.
How about you, Kev?
Yeah, no, well, definitely with the overseas trip and sort of only getting back towards mid-January, it's absolutely going to be that. I've been contemplating running in -10-degree type temperatures in Italy, and that's going to be quite interesting itself. But I think that'll be a bit of fun. But yeah, I suppose for me, I've just started trying to slow down and sort of quite enjoying that. But it's interesting. I haven't yet sort of felt the benefit of slowing down. I sort of run 10Ks and feel as knackered after 10 as I do if I'd run it faster, if not more knackered. So But yeah, it's starting to show in terms of the heart rate and just trying to keep the heart rate down. So I think hopefully that sort of training will stand me in good stead, and I'll just try and keep going with that in the interim, and then before we sort of link up to the formal program come sort of January.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Anyway, Kev, I thought I might just leave us with a quote which actually talks about marathons, and it's a quote by the great US marathoner Frank Shorter, and he said, "You have to forget your last marathon before you try another. Your mind can't know what's coming." So I thought that was quite apt, because to be honest, I've had forgotten, and maybe that's exactly what that quote is saying, how tough a marathon is. And, I think you forget, which is probably a good thing, but our minds certainly don't know what's coming for Comrades, because we've never experienced that sort of distance, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. And as I said to you earlier as well, I feel like every run I go for now, trying to feel a sense of what I might feel like, and it's always a little bit discouraging when you're sort of, let's say, at the 6K mark, and you're thinking about Comrades and what it might feel like at the 60K mark or something like that. So yeah, I don't think we really have any idea, but that's part of the adventure and part of having a big, hairy, audacious goal, I think. So
yeah. And a good thing, according to that quote, right?
Yeah, nice one.
All right, let's leave it there until next week. Kev, have a good week.
You too. All the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
This day is gonna be the greatest memory, making history. Let's go. You don't need no luck with that golden touch. Time to light it up. Let's go. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it.